All right, everybody. What is going on? We're doing a special late night session this week. You know, we're figuring let's do something different. Let's try something new. So here it is. We're just basically gonna do an options hangout tonight. That's what the deal is basically we're gonna talk options. We're gonna talk trades. It's hump day. We're halfway through the week. And so I figure, let's just do something informal. Let's talk options trading. I think we can do a little bit of the education side of things. I think we can also call out some individual tickers. So let's get some stock tickers going as well. So if you guys have them, drop them in the chat. But that's what we're gonna do. With us today, we have Mr. Nick Shaheen, who's gonna be hopping on the stream. There he is. Nick, what is going on, sir?
A whole bunch. The markets are pretty interesting these days, to say the least. So we got to get as many tools as we can to beat it.
There we go. So that's the move. And again, we're trying something a little bit different today. I think maybe we kick it off a little bit on the education side of things. And guys, like always, if you have tickers that you care about, you have symbols for us to take a look at, drop them in the chat. And Nick is pretty darn good about getting to those symbols, getting to those tickers. But I don't know. What say you, Nick? You wanna open us up and get us rocking and rolling?
Sure. Let me share my screen. Would that be good?
I think that would be good.
All right. So let me share here. Share screen. I put the camera always right in the middle where the bar is. So I was like, every time I need to get something, I gotta reach around. Yes, share the screen, please. Select screen. We'll go with this one.
All right, and you have a new chair while you're pulling that up.
I feel like a total gamer. I've got a gamer headset on. I got a gamer chair, which I haven't gotten used to. It's got so many features. It reclines, got a footrest. I don't know what to do with myself here.
I mean, it's sort of funny that the chair has too many features.
Yeah, well, I bought it.
What world is this that we're in?
I'm 6'2", and I bought it for the big and tall, figuring I'll have leg room. Turns out I am not big nor tall by their standards. That chair is huge, but I'm working it. I may need a footstool.
Yep.
All right, so I did share my screen. You see it?
Let's see. Boom, we got it.
Okay.
We have it up there.
All right, and I put in the S&P just to say that the bulls are in charge. That's why we have this ascending channel. That's a good thing, right? It's also a good thing to look at it from the long-term perspective to see how good it is. Maybe it's too good. So I always show this just as a bring me to reality type of a checkpoint, that this is not an obvious point of entry for anything with complete confidence. So that makes me humble in any decision I make every day these days.
Yep. Okay.
So I don't see the comments. So you let me know if they have tickers coming, but I don't see them.
Yep, I will. The first one that we got through is ticker MP Materials. If you want to hop.
Somebody asked me about that. Somebody asked me about that today or yesterday in the chat room. So I wonder if I have any lines on it. I don't. So I must have answered with crayon. Okay, so I don't know the fundamentals of this company. I'm assuming it's a mining of sorts, production and marketing of rare earth. Okay, rare earth. So is that battery related?
It's rare earth, and what makes this one unique is that I believe it's the only domestic rare earth public company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think it's...
So
I think it's interesting fundamentally, but keep going.
Lesson number one for MP is proof positive that if you don't believe in technical analysis after this chart, then it's going to be pretty hard to convince you of this. So these three candles right here, they're failures, right? They left tails. If you can't see them, I can make them bigger for you right there. Those three candles, see the long tails? Those are the highs of the days, declining highs, 4 in a row. But here's the interesting point that I want you to see. These three candles, I want you to look left, all the way left. Look what that dotted line touches. Way back in December, what is that, the 15th? So here's another education piece. on technicals. This candle is called a doji. It's a complete indecisive candle. They opened here at one point during the day. They hated it, and then they loved it. And then they came back and they said, you know what? We have no clue. Let's just close it about where we opened it, and we'll decide later. And then the later, that's what happened. Collapse, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that point, if you look right, that marked this sell-off here. Also marked a corresponding point here. So this line, I should put a line there. It's been in contention for a long while. What happens when a price runs into a point in a place where it has been in contention for a while? They tend to fade. They faded here. This isn't the first failure, but the good news is that they are also making progress, building better momentum from higher lows. So now we have a battle, a range that is tightening to where they're going to come to blows soon. So they're getting tighter and tighter, and then they have to decide if they want to attack this again and take it out, use it for footing, and then go, or just completely fade and then lose this progress and then try to hold this. So this is where reading charts helps a lot. And this happens on any time frame. You can follow this logic. So the first job is to figure out if I'm buying this company here. Before I do so, I should look left and see what happened the last time it was here. Like, this is not the last time it was here because they didn't even slow down. This was the last time. Okay, so it was pivotal. This was the last time. Okay, it was resistance, and then they broke through it. And this was the time before it. So it tells me that it's not going to be easy or a cakewalk to get out of it the first try. So this would not be an obvious point of entry to somebody who knows how to read charts. But not all is lost because they still have the momentum. And there would be another lesson. Man, you can teach a whole lesson on this chart. The whole technical analysis. So this orange line, you see how it keeps moving a little bit?
Yep.
So this is where volume is the heaviest. So everybody knows what these guys are. They're volume bars when they happened, like on March 23rd, 24th. There's a lot of volume. But the important part is that these bars here sideways, they tell me the same information as to where they happened, at what level. So now I know that this level where the orange line is and around it, it's pretty busy. So it's sticky and it's going to be hard to get out of it, but they're kind of coming out of it. So it's almost like somewhat support. So they shouldn't slice through it either. So that's a good thing to have that volume almost behind you. If they can put it all the way behind them, they're going to run.
Okay.
So that is MP.
So that's MP. You want to grab a couple other tickers out of the chat?
Sure, hit me.
All right. This next one, we did this one several times last week. Let's still do it. Guys, yeah, that ticker was MP, Mike Papa. This next one, wish.com, our favorite online reseller of crack pipes and other miscellaneous wares. But let's look beyond the crack pipes and take a look at the chart. How's that?
Okay, so you can see that somebody's asked me about it before.
Oh, yeah.
So I believe I have a put on it, which was for fun, but I'm not making money on it. I don't know why I bought the put. This is not an obvious put buy, but in any case, so this was a big loss right here, as was this. So technically, this must have been, if it had history, this would have been a massive head and shoulders, where the downside would have been this or lower. So it lived up to the expectations, but along the way, they lost several other levels that they needed to gain. Look, lower highs, and then they finally burst through it. So now the worst thing they can do is lose these two candles, get outside the box lower. That is, you don't want to do that. Whatever happened here, they're undoing all of it. Undoing most of it is okay. Undoing all of it is dejecting, and then you ask why. So, whoops. So this place clearly is resistance, but therein lies the opportunity. So if they find footing here, they could. If they find it, meaning all of this was wrong, then they can swing back up. This is massive resistance, and miraculously take this out. then they can go inverse head and shoulders towards 22 with a lot of resistances along the way, like 18 and whatever that line is here, 20. So every line that they tried to hold on the way up is going to be a problem. I have to tell you, I'm not too optimistic about 15 and a half, that line here.
Why?
Because look at it. You can draw a line right there. And if you, in fact, if you extend this one this way, you can see how they tried to hold it. They fell below it. They couldn't recover it. That's the killer right there. They couldn't recover it. That's what really triggers the inverse, the head and shoulders, the bearish pattern. When you can't retake the neckline, then you fulfill the destiny lower. Now they can't retake it here or here, then they're for sure going to get lower. So this is not good news, but not all is lost. What is it down today? 8? Is this a Reddit stock?
Yes.
Okay,
sure.
so if it is
Reddit stock.
Okay, so if it is, then it's falling in sympathy with the whole group. In fact, the whole IWM has been under fire because all the Reddits are in here. Good and bad. Some good. In fact, I'm writing an article right now on hidden gems inside the Reddit mess. So there are some hidden gems like Palantir, for example. It should not be falling. Like maybe DraftKings also should not be falling with the Reddit. It should find footing because it has actual fundamentals on its own.
Yeah.
But Wish would not be on my wish list.
All right, so there we go, guys. If you're just joining us, we're grabbing tickers out of the chat. Nick is bracing us with this time. Yeah. I know. Normally, Nick does the education up front. Hey, you asked. I don't know if anybody's chatting, and I just threw you some tickers.
I can't see it.
I know. And there's a lot of tickers flying. Do you want another one?
Sure.
All right. How about NET?
Whoa. Okay, so this is where I say I missed it, and this is definitely not an obvious point of entry. Hopefully, the person's asking to see if they should short it. And when I say short it, I don't mean sell it and sell it short traditionally. I mean like buy a put or a put spread on it or sell a call spread on it, all of which are bearish without unlimited risk. There is no way on earth you would convince me to short anything right now. The traditional way, it's unlimited risk. This is not an obvious entry point. If you tell me where would you buy it, I would say it has some support around 104 right here, some better support around 96, most definitely, actually 97, 96, 97. Look at it again, this point in place. Look left. This was a big failing point in February. Then it took them so long to get back and take it. I would imagine they will defend it very well on the way down. So 97, they start buying, in my opinion, and 92 would be a good entry point. So anywhere between 97 and lower, I'd brave a long entry for a trade.
But okay, let me ask you this. I look at this chart, I see energy behind it. Like this jumps out at me just on a first glance as a bullish chart.
It is absolutely bullish. That's why it's going that way. Boy, it's expensive. So I'm not saying short it. I'm saying it's not an obvious point of entry.
Okay, got it.
I said if you force me to do something with it, I wouldn't take it long. I think the odds of a dip, and I'll tell you why. Macroeconomic conditions. I am more leery of the whole market being up so high than each individual company. Like there are a whole bunch of companies I would go in big time now, but I can't because if the markets fall, guess what? They take everything, the good and the bad. Cheap or not, it's going down. So in this case, I should be big enough to say, I missed it. Let me get a dip. And it's totally fine to. There are like thousands of stocks you can trade. Why follow this one?
Okay, and let me ask you this one. So you said like you can't short anything, outright. Like you wouldn't take a naked short on anything. But if you want to put a bearish position on a stock, what you said you do it with a put spread, or how did you say you do it?
I would buy a put spread, and let me see here.
Can you talk us through what exactly a put spread is and why it matters?
Sure. So I'm going to assume, so we don't ask the question and waste time, that there are a lot of people that haven't done options watching or listening. So
let me throw this one out to the chat, guys.
Okay.
Give us your experience level on options. All right, we're grabbing tickers out of the chat. We're just doing a casual options hangout, but let's get everybody's experience level going here. But all right, Nick, keep going while we wait for those answers to come in. There's a little bit of a delay.
I'm working here. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm setting myself up for trades on this one. Okay, so I'm putting alerts for myself because it looks like a tradable stock, and I haven't traded it before that I remember. So I would definitely want to look at it when it falls here. So I'm putting lines that are usable for anybody. So this is a pivot point. There's another one up here that is worthy of catching maybe some support zone right here. There we go. Make it a little bit smaller. I feel like Bob Ross. Put a little tree over here. Okay. I think he's dead. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you're saying what's a put spread? Okay, so to short stocks, little quick lesson on traditionally how you short stocks. You basically, you know somebody, well, you don't know. You don't have to know anybody with the platforms now. You're borrowing shares you don't have, and you're selling them. That's how convinced you know that something is going to fall. So if I didn't have this company own shares, I would say, you know what? I know for sure it's going to fall. I will borrow 100 shares and I sell them today, and I put the money in the bank. And if I'm right and it falls to 84 or 88, then I have to return 100 shares. I buy them back at going rate, which is lower than what I sold them at. Therefore, the difference in price will be my profits, and then I return my shares. That's ideally. What suboptimal is when you do that, you borrow the shares and you sell them, you put the money in the bank, and then it gets squeezed on Reddit, and then it goes ballistic high. You're losing money for as long as the stock is rallying, and then you get margin calls and your account's frozen, and they liquidate whatever they can in order to cover your margin call within 3 days. So that is not something I would do. The options markets offer you alternatives to where you can set an amount of money to risk, and then you can't lose any more than that. And the way to do it is, the simplest way to do it is to basically buy insurance on the stock you don't have by buying a put. It's a put option. I'll show you what it looks like. So this is net. And this is an options chain. This is E-Trade practice account. I'm not recommending the platform itself. It's okay, but
I see some Thinkorswim tabs down there.
Yeah, I do have that.
Are you cheating on your E-Trade Pro or your
No,
Power E-Trade?
this one has way better charting.
Okay.
This one has horrible charting. This is junk. The charts that are here. What is this? Nothing. So we'll go to options. So it's easy to structure options there. As far as what I can do with it, we'll go to November. This options contract has 135 days on the clock. So I can basically buy insurance for 135 days by buying a put option. This side is all puts at different levels. So if I wanted to short the company, instead of shorting it traditionally, I can buy a put. I can buy a $90 put. It will cost me $5 per contract. So if price falls, if I'm right and the price of the stock falls, then this $5 can turn into 11. So to give you an idea, one contract is $500 could turn into like $1,100 or $1,400. Depends on how far it falls. So that's the ideal situation. What if it doesn't fall? Then I start losing money. The 5 turns into 4, into 3, into 2, but the maximum I could lose is 5. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's better. There's even even a cheaper way of doing it. So that would be this way to buy it, the $90.
Okay.
That's the $5. I'm buying it. Somebody on the other end is selling it. Somebody on the other end is doing this. That's a different conversation. Lowering the cost of entry is by doing 2 things: buying it and selling something else lower. So I buy one, I sell one. Suddenly I'm only spending half. What does that do? It reduces my out-of-pocket expense. It makes me lose money slower on days I'm not right, but it limits my maximum gains. But in this case, I have the opportunity to turn $2.50 into $10. Not too shabby. So that is using a debit put spread. This is a put. This is a put spread, basically spreading the risk. It's called the debit put spread because it's cost me money. If somebody wants to be bullish the stock, they do this. And now it's a credit put spread. It's a bullish position. In this case, you want price to stay above 85.
Yep.
Or 90, whichever one you sell.
Yep.
So that's a quick lesson on options.
All right. There we go. So for whoever out there was asking about net, you got more than your question answered.
Yeah.
In that you got Nick not only to talk through the chart, but then
What is
also to
that?
talk through the option chain. Cloudflare. Benzinga is actually a customer of this one.
Oh yeah.
It costs
Okay.
us about 25 grand a year. And what it does is it helps prevent Benzinga.com from going down via a DDoS attack.
Okay, so
So
I'm
there you
looking
go.
at it. I'm intrigued. This is a good business. Now we're talking fundamentals. So we've got revenues growing pretty rapidly. I don't care about profitability, but I'm curious. Okay, so it's losing a little bit of money, not a big deal. Let me look at the overview here. Their cash from operations is that positive? No, barely negative, so almost positive. That's the important one here. When they
Yep.
bring cash flow from operations, then they feed their own beast. But this is the expensive part. So I don't look for value when I'm looking for growth, but 70 times sales is pretty high. They can grow into it, but it's something to watch. I do like it. I'm glad you asked.
And question out of the chat. Can you dump a contract that is losing money before it expires? The answer is yes. Just like a stock where you can trade in and out of the position, options contracts you can trade in and out of the
I
positions as
can
well.
buy it and sell it within minutes of each other. So if I buy something and I change my mind, I can turn around and sell it. So here's the first lesson in options, and I'm gonna like blow your minds right here. If you take an options class anywhere, if you have taken one, I bet you've heard the term or the statement, most options expire worthless. So this is where you stop and you say, I don't want to buy them. I want to be the seller. And you go, what? Yes, because if that's the case, your statistics are on your side immediately just by the fact that you're the seller. So don't sell willy-nilly, but do homework and sell. How can we use selling options to another lesson? How do I buy a stock cheaper than it actually is and get paid for it? What is he talking about?
All
Okay, so
right, wait. Let's give it a minute for
okay.
the answers to roll in. All right, we got a little bit of a delay. Whoever, if anybody gets this one right, we're gonna send you a Benzinga T-shirt. So the
Okay.
question
Well, let me
was, how do you get
let
a
me
stock
rephrase it.
cheaper than what it's at?
How do I get paid to get a stock to get long a stock cheaper than it is right now?
All right, we got the answer.
What
Nick
is
in
it?
the chat got it. Selling a put.
There we go. Nick, that's me. No, I'm
Boom.
just kidding.
Yeah, yeah. It was you.
Okay, so here's the thing for people. Here's what Nick just said. So somebody who asked about net, they're clearly interested in net. If they're looking to buy the shares now, I've got an alternative solution for them. So what about getting paid to be bullish the shares with a buffer? So if I'm the one wanting to buy shares now, but I'm worried about the stock market in general, I wish it had a little bit of room and I wish I had bought it lower, I would sell this put. But I would never sell this put unless I wanted to own the shares. Some people sell it to quote trade, and then the price goes against them, and then they panic and they capitulate and they close it, and it's like 1,000% negative. No joke, it can do that. But me, if I wanted to own the shares, it can go 1,000,000,000% negative. I don't care because the end result is I wanted the shares at $90, and that's what will happen. So when I sell this, I'm promising somebody out there, hey, buddy, don't worry. I'm a buyer of your shares at $90. Anytime you want, I can wake up. There may be shares in my basket. And that put position that I sold, red as it is, because if price is falling, it's going to be super red. Red as it is, just disappears. When they exercise their right to give me the shares at $90, they take that put with them. They give me the money now, and I keep the money. So what happens today? This is a credit that goes into my account. One will give me $500. The worst that can happen in this case is me waking up one day owning 100 shares of Cloudflare at 90, which means I avoided losing whatever, doing the math, $18. And I keep my $5. So my break even point is actually 85, a little bit lower. So I wake up owning the shares at 90, whatever price it is. If I panic, I'll say, you know what, I'll sell those shares. So I can still be profitable down to 85. If I hang on to the shares, I'll start losing money on paper, just like owning shares from 85, not from 108. So somebody that bought the shares at 108, they lost already all the way down to 85, where I didn't even start losing. So what happens if it rallies the other way? My $500 gets priced out in my favor almost immediately, meaning it turns into 3, 2, 1, and almost 0, and then I just buy it back for pennies, which is what happens ideally. So that's how you get long a stock, leave a huge buffer, and if you buy the stock because they gave them to you, you're getting paid to do it. You're basically being the insurance company for somebody that wants to buy insurance on that.
Yes, and I'll say too that this is a strategy that I use all the time. I actually learned this from you, Nick, many years ago. I'm going on 9 years here at Benzinga, so it's probably that long ago that I learned about selling puts from you. And yeah, I mean, I've made a ton of cash this year selling puts because the stock market's just gone up. And I've had a couple situations where there's been stocks that I've wanted to get long, and I'm able to do it for cheaper.
Yeah.
So which is fine. I end up with a big negative balance in my account. I'm on a large margin. You can manage around that afterward.
Right. No, it's ugly when it's happening, and people who haven't seen it panic in two ways. If I sell this put, it's not all rosy along the way. If price falls, that $5 turns into 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 20, and all of that mathematically shows negative on the account. But effectively, I don't realize any of these losses unless I panic and I buy the put back to close it. If I decide to close the positions like, crap, I don't want these shares anymore, that's the wrong thing to do. I would rather let them give me the shares and deal with the shares. It's a much smaller loss, if any. I'll give you an example. A friend of mine in the chat room, I want to say 5 or 6 months ago, they sold a put on Boeing, which is a pretty big stock. And on a Friday, it closed within a penny or two of his sold put. And he thought he was free and clear. But turns out that the buyer of the put exercised their right at night, even though it was off a few pennies. It doesn't have to be in the money. That's a misconception. They can exercise their right at any time, any level. So he woke up on Monday owning shares of Boeing. And guess what? That was the day they announced something, and it was up 11%, the stock on Monday. So he got paid to sell the put. He was given the shares overnight at the price of the put, whatever it was. He woke up owning shares, and it was up 11%. It was like you couldn't write a book more perfect than this one. I mean, so it's not always bad when you get assigned shares. Sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's just nothing. You get assigned shares. You make the call on Monday and say, you know what, I don't want the shares, sell them. You sell them and you still break even or green. As long as somebody doesn't panic, you can work out of everything. But the underlying statement is you don't mind owning the shares to begin with.
That's the big piece.
If you can't own the shares or you don't want to own the shares, then you're in a heap of trouble because the losses are pretty big. But if you really want or can own the shares, even for just a few hours or an hour or a minute, then it's not a big deal to see those big red marks on your account. Everybody says, oh, you're so irresponsible to showing people how to sell puts. Really? It's safer than buying the shares.
Yes.
They're going to buy the shares anyway now. Why not get paid to buy them lower? Maybe. So.
All right. How about grabbing another one out of the chat?
Go.
All right. SPCE. Volatile puppy recently.
Okay, so I was a proponent of owning the shares below 20. I remember selling.
Why? I think this stock is crazy.
I remember selling puts at 12 forever. Like, look, these lines down here, these little bars, that's where I was, like, when it was falling, I probably did the write-up, and I said, this is where my risk lives, $9 or $10. I do remember that. But because it was the only space play available. If you believed in space travel, this would be it. Commercial space travel, this would be it. I would never chase it up here. I would never chase it up here. I would never chase it up here. And I would surely never chase it up here. Except this time, it was like a mix of Reddit and, real life income-changing headlines. I forgot what it was. Somebody flying or whatever.
Richard Branson's going to space. And I want to throw this one to the chat.
The one that actually gave them the go-ahead from the FAA
Oh,
That's
okay.
the one that changes the bottom line, not somebody flying. The fact
Somebody
that
flying is, yeah, it's just a headline.
the authorities said that you can start doing whatever they said, that could change the bottom line for the income.
I do want to throw this one out to the chat. If you guys are bullish, the stock space SPCE, drop the 1. If you're bearish, drop the 2. I'm curious where everybody's at. There's no third parties. Nobody's sitting out. Okay, everybody has to participate. You don't have to actually trade the stock, but we're
doing channel checks.
Channel checks. There we
go. Okay, so you can't lose this now, because if you do, you're going to go lower. Well, not that much, but I don't want to scare people. But it is a trigger point. This you made such a clean line, you better hold it. Like today, the S&P closed like the whole afternoon, one clean bar. I mean, it was incredible. And I have to show you. See, I'm like a what do you call it? The dog squirrel. Look at this, all afternoon. What? Talk about suspense for tomorrow morning. Yeah. So in this case here, the line is so sharp that you can't blink. If you do, you're going to fill the gap, and God knows where it goes. This is the clearest place where they broke out from. Look right here. That was prior resistance and opportunity, and look at how much more opportunity it gave than I thought it would. But they fell short of the GME spike. So now on the way up, what do I look for? I bet you there'll be sellers here on up. That's my take on things. So if you want to chase it, and you get the FOMO start to kick in, and you go, no, I'll wait, and it gets here, and you still haven't gone, and you decide to go long here. Remember that Nick said don't do it going into 50, or especially going into 54. Chase it after it takes this out, then fine, or at least this out. But going into a failure, this is the last failure right here. This candle is the last failure. This is a 4-hour candle. I wonder if we can get smarter on a 60-minute candle.
All right, and Nick, where would you guess the crowd came in? More bullish or more bearish?
The crowd, that what they said?
We threw out the question.
I want to say bearish, but I'm going to go with a Costanza moment and say bullish.
More bearish. It was pretty. It was a mixed crowd.
Then we have a smart crowd. So look at this. Now we have information. Check this out. So if you're a trader looking to play the SPCE tomorrow, what is today? Wednesday? Okay. So now you have this headline. Take this out, and you have a head and shoulders. If they do this and lose it, and then try to recover it, and then they fail. So tomorrow, pay attention about this. Who's in control? Are they selling the pops? That's a pop. Are they selling it? If so, are they going to be able to hold this line? If not, they're going to sell the next pop. I guarantee you that. So keep in mind to look for who's controlling the action. This is a 1-hour candle, so 60-minute candles. So you can mirror what I just did. This is a massive fail that confirms this. This is a massive by short-term standards. And so look for these tails that they left. And if you look at volume profile, check this out. Big hole in here, like right here. That's why it went up and down pretty quickly. It's like a vacuum. If you can get to it, you go to the other side, and then you hit a wall. So you have two walls, ping pongs from the volume. Look, high interest in volume, and they ping pong the inside of them. If they lose this, it's going to be a bear trying to get back. If they lose this level here, it's going to be a lot of work to plow into these volume bars. And then look, there's a gap. There's a gap in ticks to here. That's the next mountain. So it'll go. So I bet you if they lose this, they get to 37, 36. So that's your entry point. 36 is probably your first entry point if they lose this.
And Jamie in the chat is bringing up a good point, which is that they're doing that launch, which I believe the Richard Branson launch on July 11th. That's 3-4 days away, right around the corner. I mean, depending if that goes well or horribly, it's definitely going to impact the stock one way or another.
Well, so hopefully it doesn't go horribly, because that means people are dying.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
it can go well, or it's going to be.
So why isn't it number one here?
What do you mean?
This is ARCX.
Oh, okay.
It's not even in it.
Wait, have you looked at the holdings of ArcX?
Yes. That's a good question. Amazon is in here. and the only commercial space travel company is not in here.
There's some funny. So this is Kathy Wood's space exploration ETF. There are some funny stocks in here.
Yeah, like what does JD do? I mean, I know they have some sort of a robot thing, like self-driving thing. 3D printing, I guess you need stuff out there. You have to be able to make it. All you need is a blueprint. I get that. Iridium, I get that.
Okay, what about Netflix? That's my favorite. Netflix position
is in there?
number 14. 14th largest position is Netflix. You're gonna be bored in space. You need your freaking Netflix. Okay, that's the takeaway.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe
John
to make
Deere
movies about it. Maybe to make movies about it.
Maybe you got John Deere as well. That's another questionable one.
Yeah, I don't know what John Deere does for that.
Yeah,
Komatsu, isn't that like a John Deere company?
I don't know. I don't know that one.
Anyway, so the point is, why is space not in there?
Yes, I agree. Well, maybe after the 11th, they'll show her. She'll see it all over national TV.
Anyway, I was a believer, and then the shenanigans with Shamath, Palihapatia, and the hoopla they did, and then he's out. I think, like, what? What is all that about? Anyway, so shenanigans going on. That's why I forget the shenanigans, use the stock, and I treat it like any ticker. Believe it or not, the charts don't lie these days, because that's the only. They say price is truth. That's where it's at. Price is right in here. It's truth. But you got to hand it to these squeezes. They have gotten legitimate. Look at the volume hump that is here. It's gotten like pretty sizable compared to this one. So it's a legit move. But pick your entries. And you have to consider the big SPY ramp.
Yes.
So here's how I say it. We have everything extreme. We have extreme Fed. We've never had a crazier Fed than this one. We have extreme stimulus. What? How much is it now? 7 trillion, 5, 6, 7, 10. I don't know how many trillion. You know what a trillion? How big is a trillion? Let's put in there. Do you know what comes after trillion?
No.
Just ask them. Put in the comment section if you know what comes after. Don't Google it. Tell me if you know.
All right, if you know what comes after trillion, we're doing another Benzinga T-shirt. Let's go.
Okay.
All right.
That's
first
how big a
person to
number
get
it is. That's how big a number it is.
And I'm gonna say this one too, guys. I saw somebody else chatting. How do you stay in touch with Nick? Nick actually has a newsletter. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat where he's sending out ideas a couple times a week. We can talk more about that in a little bit, but let's keep the tickers going. But I'm putting the link there.
You can hang out with Nick. Look, there's somebody there right now. This is supposed to be closed. There's supposed to be nobody here. So once you get into the options world that I provide for Benzinga, by the way, we've been working with Benzinga for
a lot of years.
Since 2012, if not 2011, and I offer services on options, different levels, and at one level you have the opportunity to be in the chat room. It's not free because it's open all day and I'm in it all day. And questions come in all day and answers come in. These are my charts. See, they look there. And this one just came in just now. Somebody sharing their chart. I don't know what it is. I'll go check it out. And somebody had a question. How do you identify something on a chart? I had to get them 2 charts in order to answer that question. Somebody is asking about a trade. I did a video on Sunday, which I do share. It's an hour and a half long with a whole bunch of tickers. Only for the chat people. And they said, in the minute, whatever, you said something about DKNG, buy it at 48. Are you doing that? So I had to explain myself. So get on board.
Boom. Link is in the chat. So check that out. But Nick, we got the first guess we got after a trillion was a godzillion. The next guess was a quadrillion, and somebody said a Rockefeller.
The Rockefeller. It's the quadrillion. So practice quadrillion.
All right. Shout out Ayo in the chat. First one to get it.
Yeah. Give the Godzilla one or whatever he said. That was pretty funny. Yeah. Anyway, so it's a lot of money. So we have extreme Fed, extreme stimulus, extreme sentiment with all the super squeezes and Reddit and happiness and go, and the ape mentality, extreme bifurcation. Like People hate it or people love it. There's no in between. The extreme political problems, the extreme gas prices, extreme prices, everything. Everything you buy has never been more expensive. Everything you buy has never been more expensive. There's not one cheaper thing that I buy now than I did 2 years ago or 2019. Everything is extreme. So what do we know? One thing about extreme, it's extreme by definition. It has to revert to the mean. Well, the higher you go, well, that reverting to the mean, that simple reversion to the mean constitute a crash. So even if we crash right now, the definition of crash, what is it, 30%, 40%, the bulls will still be in charge. That's how high we are. So it's crazy.
You want to grab another one out of the chat? SoFi, I've seen pop up a few times.
Yes, SoFi. I did do a trade on SoFi with a caveat to get out, and they should have gotten out. I shared it. I said, I'm trying to swing it up. This is one of those sorry Reddit hookup. Rocket, SoFi, Palantir. I'm going to put DraftKings in there. Good companies with good perspectives and good fundamentals. They're stuck in this stupid Reddit cyclone. It was good on the way up, but now on the way down, they fall. So it's a good because it's an opportunity to get involved. So it's falling into support. It does. I do like the business. I do like the idea of the services they provide. They're still not profitable. They're still too young to say fundamentals are good, but the prospects are good. And technically, it's good. So if I'm long and I didn't get out yet, it's probably too late to get out. But if I was in it for a trade, I should have gotten out. I will re-engage lower. So I think that we will have the opportunity to get long at 16 or 15. But guess what? We can do it now. How do we do that? Okay, so if I want to buy the shares at 15, what can Nick do right now? You can go out to October. I'm going on vacation, so I don't want to deal with it now. So I'll go to January. So you know what? If it ever comes down to $10, give it to me. So I'll say I'll buy 1,000 shares at $10. Somebody will pay me right now almost $800 to do that. I don't have to buy anything. No money leaves my account. All I have to do is I promise I'll buy them, or I'll take $1,800 if I want to buy them at $12.50. My break-even point will be almost $2 lower. So almost just above here, I would break even. I'll do that all day if I want to buy the shares right now. So instead of buying shares, way better than buying calls, in my opinion. But it is the idea of having the opportunity to buy somebody else's shares cheaper and get paid for it is very attractive as long as the stock is good. And this is one I would do it with, for me, personal preference. Not a trade recommendation, what I would do. Now, if it comes down here and it bounces, and then it comes down and it loses it, get the out. Because then you have a massive neckline that looks like a complex head and shoulders where we don't know the bottom. And that scenario, I think, won't come unless the market's correct, hard. SoFi.
Boom. SoFi, whoever was asking for it, there it is. And maybe we have some other ones, but I see a special guest just hopped on and joined us.
Who
Rodrigo.
Hey guys, I was just washing some dishes. I had to hop in here. I came into this webinar. I had to pitch in here, man. How you doing, guys?
Washing dishes.
Yeah, we're having more fun than you are.
Definitely. So definitely, man, glad to be here, guys. So the options newsletter here, I just want to give you guys a little bit about my experience with the newsletter. Obviously, we all start in different places. Personally, I started with these public forums, these public chat rooms. Later on, I found out they were just like pump and dump chat rooms. There were fake profiles and bots and all that. So I really was kind of setting myself up for failure. I wasn't trading around a community, and let alone not around somebody who really has this options trade game down like Nick. In my experience, I was just trying to find picks on my own, thinking that my due diligence was top of the line, thinking that stocks are going to go up forever, not assessing my risk, and really not having a fundamental understanding of options pricing, not understanding the different terms that Nick talks about here as well, including time and gamma, all these other things. So as soon as I started trading with Nick's picks, I started seeing improvements in my account, primarily because I'm not risking 100% of the trade. I am not comfortable risking 100% of what I'm putting into a trade via a call or a put. Thanks to Nick, I was able to discover credit put spreads, and the way that he does it really make a lot of sense once you understand what he's doing. And I'm okay, not risking 100% of the trade, and I'm okay not making 500%. I'm okay with 20, 30, 40% gains because this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. People like Nick know this. I talk to equity firms here, private investors, and the people that have been doing this for 40 years plus. The one thing in common is that they're not buying options, they're selling options. They're the seller of options. And Nick hit that point really well. And I'm pretty sure that if you guys try it out, first of all, we have a 14-day money back guarantee. By that point, you'll be better off, very likely. But this is a product that, from my personal experience, it did take my trading to the next level. But you really don't know what you don't know. I did not know I was making really dumb trades before. I didn't know my due diligence wasn't in line. And thanks to Nick's expertise, he's really mentored me and showed me a lot of different ways of trading options that really make more sense. I just wasn't aware of how to trade them or what they were. So it had definitely introduced different financial vehicles to trade stocks in my journey.
Boy,
Boom.
that is like, I feel funny. I was like, do I put my hand here? What do I do? He's talking. Anyway, we do bend over backwards to make sure that there's value. I do all I can. I mean, it is so busy during the day because I'm in the chat room in two different interfaces for Benzinga. So the one is right in Benzinga Pro, which, by the way, I used today. Thank you for having the filters in here. Man, I was looking for the Fed minutes, and all I had to do is just blow these out and then put Fed FOMC minutes, and boom, all of the FOMC minutes came up in a row, and then I wrote up my blurb about it to the team and and sent it out via email as well. So, but I do use it. Whoops, not SPAC. No, thank you. Anyway, so chat rooms open all day, interaction like this all day. I never skimp on answering, and it's a lot of work. And to make me look good is we have a whole team, like the two people in here, and a whole bunch of others that I can send an email to anyone, and they will jump in and say, don't worry, I got it, or let me send it to. So you will get top-notch support and risk-free because they're offering money back, whatever that is. I'm pretty sure they're giving it away for free. So
yeah, I put the link in the chat, Nick. You cover your ears. Nick always complains to me about this, but
did
it's like $4 a month or something. It's pretty freaking cheap.
Oh my god,
to get started.
It's way cheaper than Netflix. But I do want to point out here, every pick that Nick sends out, like, he's going above and beyond. Truly, Nick is putting up a video 20 minutes long for every pick that you get. So even if you are an advanced trader and you really just want to confirm your thesis, or if you're a beginner trader and you really want to learn the ropes, Nick is literally holding your hand and tell you, hey, come on here, I'll show you what I'm doing. This is why I'm buying this. This is the fundamental analysis. These are the price channels I'm looking at, the technical levels. This is why I believe the stock will hit this level. He gives you a risk management paragraph as well. So that, if you do want to exit the trade, or if it goes against you, you know what to do. But more importantly, in the chat room, you have him live all day. And let's not even, discuss the weekend meetings that Nick does with everybody. Every weekend, right, Nick? Is it Sunday or Saturday with chat members only?
Sunday morning. Not this Sunday. I'm on vacation this Sunday, but Sunday mornings, 7 o'clock Pacific, my time, a.m. So people will have the rest of the day to do what they want. It's scheduled to be an hour, but recently I've cut it down to 1.5 hours because it's gone 2 and change before.
I've been on those calls. They get long.
70 to 75 tickers each.
It's because everybody has so many tickers. That's why.
That's because we have so many people. Because they each come with 1 or 2 tickers. There you go. Boom. Full room. You get 70 to 80. So,
all right, let's grab another one. Can we grab Palantir? Everybody keeps asking about Palantir.
Oh my God. I just wrote an article about Palantir. I love it. Okay.
For the newsletter, you're saying?
Well, I'm writing articles all the time. So
all right, there we go.
If I share a write-up, I better have done my homework on it. Yeah, so I can't just share and say, do this. I just showed you, actually, I was scrolling onto something, and Palantir is on my hunt list. So today I was looking at skills. So I offered a full-blown video. This was, I believe, 14 minutes. And then I did the write-up, which is all of this stuff. So I can't put words unless I write stuff about it. So I write it, and then I share it, and then you guys edit it and make it look pretty and add a couple of charts I don't have, and then you go with that. So let's take the lines out. This is a legitimate business. I think they book about 1.3 billion in revenues, half government, almost half commercial. So they have a couple of different income streams, and the government is on a spending spree. Now the pandemic changed the world. Now everybody is in a panic to get digital. Before it was like, yeah, we're getting there. There was no fire under their butts. Well, now they're all panicked. And then they all got digitized, and now they have more data than they know what to do with it. So in comes companies like Palantir. So I think what they do is they just aggregate all of it, work one time to implement whatever, and then give you push-button decision-making tools. Simplified. So legitimate business, getting stuck in the stupid Reddit thing. I keep referring to it as stupid, not because the people are stupid, because what it's doing to the stock market, the legitimate stocks, is stupid. We were long this, and then I got out. It's a company I wanted to be long for a long time. But when you get this, you can't but get out, because in options, this is really beefy profits. You can't just pass it up. And good thing we did, because they gave it back up and then some. This was a blind get long. I sold puts at 18 in the dip. I didn't catch the very bottom, but I made money off of them. Then I bought calls several times and booked them. And then I currently hold some calls. They're underwater, but overall, I'm still way green in it. So what do I do here? It's down 7% through no fault of its own. I looked in here. I couldn't find any. There it is, Palantir. I couldn't find anything from today that would warrant this. So I'm thinking it's falling in sympathy to AMC, which fell, 10%, and GME and the small caps. So it's just falling with the group. It doesn't belong in this group. That's why I call it stupid, because it's taking down good stocks like this one. This is a buy on a dip. And if it falls into this, I would go long big time. This would scare me, losing this. That scenario, however, means the stock market is corrected. And then I think we will get to buy it at 12. So I will go. That's why I said, I started showing you the S&P, right? I said, look how extreme this chart is, to lower my conviction. I have strong conviction in this stock. I force myself to not take a full position even down here, because this can be lost, and I will have the opportunity to buy it or get long at 12 or 13 or 10 even. So back to what do I do now? If I'm not out, I don't panic. It's still constructive. It's a setback, but it's falling into support. This whole zone below is support. So I think they will catch the falling knife, come back. The exciting part is if it takes this out, I'll put the alert right now, get long. Because if they take this out, that's a huge failure before. It's a huge turning point from prior instances. I think if you take this out, you can get back to 36 with a lot of resistance. You fill this little gap. So long answer. Hopefully you were ready for it.
And question, just general options question, Mr. Nick. Can you set stops on options? Coming from Michael in the chat.
You can set stops on. I don't, because I'm at the helm, so I can't tell you how to do it. But you can, and not only that, you can set trailing stops. And I believe Thinkorswim gets you rules. If this happens and this happens and this happens, do this. So you can get as complicated as you want to be, setting stops and such. When I say set a stop or stop out, is because I'm watching and I have alerts. So the easiest way to get more better results is to use these alerts. You just right click, put an alert, you do your homework. Like I know if it gets down to here, I want to get long. So I'll put an alert. So to catch my attention, this message will tell me what to do with it once it comes to me. And then now I don't have to look at it. I know I don't have to revisit Palantir because I've got the trigger up and a trigger down. And then this one is the mother load. Load up, question mark, because I want to know if the market's correcting or not. If not, if it's on its own, then I would get long aggressively with a tight stop from a trading perspective. From an investment perspective, I wouldn't go so aggressively to leave room to just in case it loses it, I can double down lower. All right, so yes, you can put stops on options.
Okay.
I don't.
And then can we grab another one out of the chat? Disney. Steven in the chat's dropped this one a couple times.
So I'm sure Steven is smart enough to have figured out that this is not the Disney of old. What does that mean, Nick? You're speaking cryptic. So this is Netflix in its earlier years. The Disney fundamentals are shot. They're gone. They're out the window. You don't use them like it used to be. Oh, anytime it goes under 100, you just blind buy it because it's got this and that. This is a company you give to your grandchildren, I think Kramer used to say. This is not the same Disney. This Disney moves on only one thing and one thing only: growth of subscribers, period, end of story. That's what Netflix did it. So profits, losses, misses, estimates, blah, blah, blah. What did they do? Growth rate. And what are people expecting for that? They are growing really fast. In fact, if you combine all of their streaming services, which include Hulu, at least, and some other stuff, they are bigger than Amazon, which has about 150 million, 170 million subscribers, and catching up to Netflix pretty quickly. Now, lose this, and I bet you'll get to buy it at 140, 144, if not fill the gap all the way to here. But that will not happen alone. The market will have to trip. Now, can you notice anything on this chart? There's something. So what you notice is that I mentioned it earlier. I forgot what the ticker was. They're selling the pops. You see how they're methodically selling the pops? And the danger is they're losing the value area. So they're losing the big volume bars. If they get below these, it's going to be a bear trying to get up above them. They already lost this one. There's going to be a lot of sellers at 180 and definitely at 181. So, and even if they pop, they have a lot more sellers around 188. So not an ideal setup brewing. And you lose this one, I would buy puts in it to short it for a trade, or I would stay out and snipe. Nope. Uh-oh. And I think this will be the target here. Do I have lines? I do have lines. What were they? Yep, there they are. This would be a good entry point to catch it. I must have had a trade on Disney because these are notes from trades. Pivot, support, okay. See, everything consistent. Look, mini support, resistance. I didn't mention the pivot, must hold, otherwise lower. So,
yeah. And I'll throw this one in there too. I see Michael in the chat saying traded stocks, prepping for first option entry. I'm just gonna throw this one out here again, guys. If you like Nick, you like him calling out tickers. He does have a newsletter. It's literally, Nick, cover up your ears. I think it's $47 a year, not a month, a year.
I'm used to it.
Yeah, I know. and there's a 2-week money back guarantee, so you can at least try it for 2 weeks and then just email us and say, I'm out, and you get your money back. And basically what he's doing is he's giving 2 setups per week, like he's doing now. He's just talking through like, hey, here are 2 setups. Here's the education behind it. Here's the why. With the whole idea is, okay, you get the ideas, but then you're also enabling yourself to be able to figure it out. So that's the move there, guys. I'll drop that link into the chat. It's half off today. We always do it whenever we come on YouTube, which isn't often, but whenever we do, we always throw that half off on there. So again, if you're new to options, you're just getting into it. It's the way that I started many years ago with Nick. It's the way that Rodrigo started with Nick. So there you go.
Anybody know if the ladybug has 6 legs or 8? This is an inverse cup and handle bearish position. That's why you don't want to lose this neckline. I call it ladybug in the chat room for giggles, but it's an inverse cup and handle, and that's why, seriously, it is a serious thing to hold for Disney. So bearish pattern that usually has ominous results. In this case, it's about as this big a drop. That's why I said they could fill the gap down below. Yeah, but so here's my sales pitch on what they just told you. don't join for the fish, so to speak. I don't consider myself a trade alert service. Join for the education. Someone has a process that works. Statistically, I line it up to where I get 90% ish because that's how I set them up. And it would take a certain event for it to go wrong, and it does go wrong every once in a while. So every trade I share, whether you get two a month or one a week, whichever level you sign up, or 3 or 4 a week, and a chat room, you're going to get a full video, which is usually 8 to 15 minutes, with the logic. First, the macroeconomic conditions. How does the world look like now? The micro conditions for this particular stock, whatever it is, like what's it look like? And the reason, the thesis. Never take a trade without a reason. Like if you have a trade that gets in trouble and you come to me, hey, what do you think of this trade? My first question would be, why do you take it? And if you don't know, then you shouldn't be in it. And if that reason is gone, you shouldn't be in it. So the thesis, why am I doing this? I'm trying to buy the dip. I'm trying to swing trade. I'm trying to short. I'm trying to catch a breakout. And then I'll give you methods on how to do it. Buying shares usually is of course, or buying calls. And then I'll share a table with buying calls. I usually say most aggressive, not my gig. Buying call spreads, milder. I could do that. Selling puts, my favorite, but only for people that want to buy shares. Or selling put spreads, probably the best fit for all situations, most situations. So I will have a table with everything, but the process repeats over and over and over again. And if you see it, you read it, you watch it with everyone, it's like a class that's going on. Have you gotten a cheaper class than what you're getting, the offer that they're offering you? I don't think so. I haven't. I wish there was something like this where I can watch somebody that shows me. It's an open book. I can't hide. It's on paper. It's on video. It's in print. So it's online. So
and it's cheaper than your monthly Netflix. Okay, so you're getting not only the ideas,
so
but
I
the
may be finally joining the Netflix. I've been mooching Netflix off of somebody else's. So I think I'm switching to T-Mobile, and I'm pretty sure they're going to give us Netflix. So
wow, you're finally coming around.
Another important thing that sometimes traders might not even think about is protecting their investment, protecting their capital. Right, Nick? So
yeah,
the risk profile management that you do, that's really why I'm so big on Nick, because he really is big on protecting your capital and increasing the gains.
This week, I had a lot of, I should say not a lot, maybe 4. Oh man, I'm down so much in such and such stock. What do you think I can do? Well, 2 situations I couldn't do anything because it was way too late. And in 2 other situations, I was able to change the risk profile. One of them, I can't remember the ticker. They were long a certain stock that was pretty, I'm going to say DKNG, that type of stock where it's not proven yet, but it's got good potential. And they bought December calls or September calls and 2023 calls. So they're long via long-term calls. Calls are calls. They're not shares. They're time sensitive. But the fact that they went to 2023, okay, they gave themselves a little time to react, but it's expensive, right? And the one in September definitely moved faster than the other one. And so I told them, why don't they're down, they're nervous, they don't know if they should get out. And I said, well, if it was me, I would change my risk profile. It looks like your stock is stalled, so I would get rid of the calls. They're down $4,000 or whatever it was, and I said you can recoup half of it by selling puts way below. And it's the stock you wanted to own. That's why you bought the calls. So you're not risking anything. You're swapping the risk from being time sensitive to time happy. Now time is on your side, and every minute that ticks, you're making money. And you don't need anything to happen, and then you can recover half your loss. You stay long the 2023, maybe that can help you recover the other half of your costs. But all of that happened in the chat room. They didn't sign up for it. It's not part of the freaking $47, but they got $1,000 worth of savior options, potential maneuvers, whatever you want, tactics, from being in the chat room eventually. Now, this price does not include the chat room because it's a crap ton of work. But that's the first step to get into the chat room, I believe.
Correct. And just to make sure we're all on the same page here, the chat room, you have full-time access to Nick. He's posting trades every single day. He's posting daily video updates on the market, catching the market sentiment, catching market moving news. Sometimes you might just rather watch, let's say if you're watching the news and you're getting all that filtered news by CNBC with their own, sauce on top of it. Nick gives it to you straight, no feelings, just trading, and that's a very important part of trading, especially for new people that are getting in. We need to put our feelings on, leave them outside, because if you've been doing this for so long, it's not because of your feelings, right, Nick?
Yep.
This is
this is what I did today when the Fed minutes came out, right? First of all, it's past history. We know what they did, and people want to know what they're doing anyway during the meeting. So this is a cutout from the Benzinga Pro I told you about when I put the Fed meeting filter in there. I came out, I took a snapshot, and I gave my commentary. So basically, every statement that they said, what does that really mean? They're trying to justify inflation. They're not sure. They're saying reports are not showing this and that. It's like, I don't know what reports they're saying. Every report I see is big, 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 And the president goes on TV and says, oh, that was so good. And this guy's saying, no, it's not that good. And then, they're saying that inflation subsiding. Liars. I don't believe it. They're doing some stuff behind the scene. So anyway, but the point, what he mentioned is that getting prepared for the day, that's the best part of the chat room, in my opinion, but not enough people pay attention to it, unfortunately. I'm trying to scroll back. Oh, did we say too much, apparently? No, summary of action for Amazon. That was pretty important. So Amazon people were saying, I can't believe nobody asked about Amazon. What is going on? So, I said the Amazon summary of actions, I said the fast traders can chase it now, not me. I'm too busy. I can't do it. Swing traders can chase it on Monday, maybe, if it breaks out on a weekly basis. And I'm going to share with you a little secret about Amazon. So hang in there with me here. I did a video a few days ago for the members only for Amazon. And I'll show you what there is at least 700 points in potential in Amazon. What did he just say? Amazon. All right, so this is a breakout clearly on a daily basis, right? So hopefully that doesn't turn out to be a big island top or whatever they call it. So here, this is a weekly chart. Every candle is 1 week. So when a stock runs this much and spends almost a year doing this, chopping or even coming down a little bit, that's what they call consolidating. And then when it finally breaks out of the range, it will rally as much as it did to get here. So eyeball it somewhere around here. What is that? 700 point of extra potential from the breakout. So I had to answer like 4 times today. Is this a breakout? Is this a breakout? Well, I don't know. I told you these are weekly candles. It's not Friday yet. So what if it falls and Friday closes below this one? It's not a breakout. The highest close is here. There's one right behind it. So it's a close call. If I'm fast, I could chase it on lower time frames, 15 minutes. I could use these charts to chase it. If I'm not, I should stick to catching the big breakout, miss out a few 100 points. I don't care, but catch the big one. Who did this? Can anybody guess what big mega tech company did this recently?
All right, should we throw away another?
Give away a t-shirt.
Another t-shirt. Another Benzinga t-shirt. There's number 3 of the night.
If they get this one, they might deserve 2 t-shirts, maybe a mug or something. But no.
All right, the question's out there. You want the t-shirt? Throw it in.
Who just did this?
All right, you got Nvidia.
Yes, boom. Who is this? Is this Nick again?
Dooley got it. Nick was number 3. You got Dooley, then Sasha, and then Nick Gubb.
Look at it.
We did make Nick moderator of the chat because he got 2 in a row right. So he won that little moderator badge.
Look at it.
I got to take that away before I go to bed tonight.
It ran up, consolidated, and then broke out. And as soon as it broke out, I went in the chat room. I said, "Don't short Nvidia. She gone." And boom. And what did I do? I shorted Nvidia. So I'm down a little bit on it, but I have time. I will save it. I didn't short it. I sold an Iron Condor, and I'm under pressure on the upper end of it. Yeah. I'm still almost even about it. But anyway, the Amazon opportunity has not triggered yet, but it's there. These are weekly candles. If you want to declutter it a little bit more, you can go to a monthly candle. But in this case, I think the weekly candle shows it clearly. Okay, so 1 week is your weekly candle. And if you go to Amazon, it's setting up. It wants to do the same. Now, will it have the chance? Will the rhetoric in the media change? I can't believe it hasn't changed yet. The jobs report was too strong, and they still took good news as good news. We are being fed. Here's my sentiment. Folks, I am not from Wall Street. I don't know anybody on Wall Street. I know one person.
Who?
Well, you don't know it. But so I'm always looking for the market, the big bad wolf, the market maker. You know that you've heard of Max Payne theory. I kind of subscribe to it in sentiment. In sentiment, actually, it's a good word. So the market is out to screw as many people as it can at all times. That is the underlying driver for profits in the market. If you want to win, you can't say, I'm going to beat the house. The house will beat you. But using options, you can still win and let the house win too. And pick on the poor schleps who tried to beat the house. So that's what I do. So
you're taking the side of the house, basically.
I play with their rules. Like the little fish that swims around the shark, the underbelly of the shark. It knows the shark can eat at any point in time, so it lets it do its thing, and it does its thing right under the shark. And when I take my trades, for me to lose money, the house needs to lose money. That's how I set up my trades. And so my point is that people are being led to think one way, and they're going to pull the rug from under them. And I'll give you one perfect example. Oil. Just stupid oil, right? So listen to this logic. Oil has been on the tear, absolute tear. A few weeks ago, if not 2 months ago, Goldman Sachs comes out with a statement that oil is going to $80. I said, no way. Logic doesn't allow it. I let it run, and then I shorted oil stocks successfully, Chevron, several times. And now I'm short oil, and today I booked half, and tomorrow I'll book my rest. Because logic says they're lying, but what they did, they drove price up like a self-fulfilling prophecy, and they booked their profits. The trading desks and the news desks, I bet you talk to each other now. The SEC is not looking, so we're being cheated. They're driving us like sheeple, and they're going to slaughter us. So don't listen to the news. Turn off the news. Get your own news from Benzinga here, and do your decisions. These are facts. Avoid the ones that say opinions. Just stick to the facts. Like when they report on earnings, go here and read the report on earnings. Don't read what somebody thought of the results. Make your own opinion, because you have all the tools. You have the information here. You have the charting within Benzinga, which, by the way, is the same as this. I don't know if you have Benzinga Pro or not. It's worth the money, in my opinion, because everything is in one spot. And you can have multiple desktops open. I have several that I use for this or that. And do your own homework. Don't let don't chase opinions, because there are no experts. These circumstances have never existed before. We've never had these tailwinds before, so nobody's an expert.
Nick, so I love that point where you're mentioning that, like, analyzing the data. So something that I struggled with when I was beginning was I was looking at the data. I just had no idea of how to, interpret the data. Because when you have that experience and you've been doing this for so long, specifically with options, you're more familiar with the market. Whereas I see a piece of news and I might think, oh, let me go buy this, and it's not what like the right trade per se. So that experience, a lot of people that you've helped in the chat room and the newsletters, they've personally mentioned, hey, I just want to thank Nick. I've seen some great results. The mentoring has helped me a lot. So how do you think new traders, obviously, signing up for the chat room and talking with you and, eating off your expertise, what do you advise to new traders that really don't understand the news?
I practice what I preach. So I learn from people in the chat room. So Bitcoin is a new thing, relatively, crypto. I have so many crypto experts in the chat room, it's not even funny. I can't tell you how much I learned from them. I opened my account because they told me where to go open my account to trade crypto. And then I got a quick education. And one time I said something wrong about mining and the news from China. And somebody jumped in and says, no, you don't understand. That's because this and this and this. And I did homework and I learned. So what they can do is start the conversation. When you're in a room, in a chat room, you're not only talking to me as a moderator and a contributor, what do you call that in there, mentor, but a whole bunch of other people that have skills, man. I learned harmonics from the chat room. I knew nothing about harmonics. There was one guy in there that was phenomenal, and I took a couple of things from him and ran with it. And now I'm not an expert, but I can definitely use it. If I buy a service that gives me harmonic drawings because it takes a long time to perfect how to draw them, I can use them very well. But the point is, trade with a group, then the conversation gets smarter. Your watch list will get 10 times bigger immediately because suddenly everybody's watch list is your watch list and yours is theirs immediately. And then we're cohesive and together. Why is Reddit so popular?
And shout out Richard in the chat, by the way. Just said he signed up. It's like $47 for a year. Sounds like a deal. Not a month, a year.
Spender.
It is a deal. Yeah, exactly. Spending big money. But Nick, you mentioned China. So can I ask about my favorite Chinese stock of the past week?
Baidu,
Nope.
Baba.
Past week.
Didi.
Can we look at Didi? What a disaster! If you guys don't know this one, it's the It's not actually my favorite, but if you guys don't know this one, it IPO'd last week on Wednesday. On Friday, there was news that China was doing a security investigation. The Chinese government. This is the Uber of China, and then it got taken off of the App Store over the weekend in China. So within 5 days of its IPO,
I thought the FTSE was going to still list it anyway. So yes, here's the problem with this. The headline. I usually am not a person to chase headlines or avoid or run away from headlines, but this headline could be a game changer to its income statement. In fact, the company came out and said this could be a game changer for our income statement if they go through with it and they stop us from actually being on people's apps. So that's a game changer. By the way, years ago, I swear, I'm going to give you the task to look it up if you can do it while we're here, that Apple invested $1 or $2 billion in this company. Because I remember saying, Tim Cook, you got hundreds of billions of dollars. That's the best you can do, invest in a taxi company. So I was like very critical of him. It was around the time, I want to say, when they had the color Apple.
Apple, $1
Apple
billion.
C.
Apple invested $1 billion.
Yeah.
And somebody's saying is the 47, does that include the chat room? No, for the chat room,
No.
you're gonna be there's a couple more screens. So if you sign up for the 47, that's like the get started, the super cheap. There's gonna be a couple more screens that you can click through and it'll take you to the chat room. So again, it's all the whole thing is 2-week money back guarantee. So unlike markets, it is risk free.
Let me prep the person that's asking about that. So it's not free to be in the chat room because, like I said earlier, can we cuss? It's a shit ton of work on my part and everybody else's part. I'm up at 4 in the morning, 4:10, because I'm on the West Coast. I have to prep the day, do the write-ups, and I'm in the chat room day and night. I answer questions all the time. And the conversation is two ways. It's not like I'm a talking head. And keeping everybody in line and focused on what's important. A couple of write-ups a day for the chat room people. Those don't go to non-chat room people. So there's super advantages to be in the chat room. 2 write-ups a day, a webinar on the weekend, a strategy video for the week before the week starts. That's gold right there for me. And the whole, unlimited questions. So basically you're in a room with me all day, every day, if you want to, if you choose to, when you can pop in and out. And like I said, I keep going back here. I expect it to be empty, but it's not. They're right here. Don't know what they're doing, but they're in there.
Nick, the best part, what I love about how, helpful you are with, with other subscribers here is really when they have a question for you about maybe, they might have one question and then you ended up answering 5 questions that they didn't even know about, right?
Yep. So somebody just asked in the chat room, what about Apple? It's approaching all-time high. So I'm going to tell them that, Apple, I looked at the open interest yesterday. I haven't looked today. I will look tomorrow. I wouldn't chase it until it takes that out. But the thing is, if it does take it out, they'll take it to 150. I saw a big order, not big order. There's people are piling into one area of interest around the 150 mark. I hate to say it that way because I'm not that guy. I don't chase those things. I'm just going to tell them, wait until it takes it out. Chase for a trade. If it's an investment, definitely not an obvious entry point. So that's my answer to that person. So that's my comment to you. This is not an easy entry point. Now, it has a history of running into the earnings and then fading, but this is too early. I usually take a long in Apple before the earnings, but that caught me off guard. So this looks like this. I just don't like it. Something is going on. Something is going on.
Right. So, like, let's say, for example, if somebody comes at you with a question like, like I've done, Nick, I'm thinking about buying calls on this stock, right? You send them a chart. That's what you did to, when I asked you about that CLNE, right? This meme stock. I was trying to buy calls. Then you suggested a different type of trade, and that really ended up working out well. So you do that for all chat members whenever they have a question or.
Absolutely. Like somebody the other day said they wanted to chase Tesla. Well, if you've traded Tesla through options, you know that it's $1 bazillion to even do a 2-hour trade. The options are through the roof. First of all, it's a high dollar stock, so its options are priced high. Plus, it's a nervous stock, so its implied volatility is high. I haven't checked lately. Let's go see right now, and I'll give you an idea what kind of money it requires to trade it. If somebody wants to just chase the meme. So implied volatility is 40, so it's not that high. But so if I wanted to play 2 days with a call, it's going to cost me $950 for one call. And if Tesla drops like today, tomorrow, if I had bought this and it fell today, I could lose half my money. Like these people lost half their money from yesterday. Look, this 9.4 was 9.37 more yesterday at the close. So if somebody bought this yesterday, they paid $1,800 for one contract. This morning they woke up, they lost half. So that person wanted to do something like this. And I said, you know what? You can do that. But if that was me, I knew what kind of account he had. I knew that he wanted to buy Tesla. He could buy Tesla. At the time, I forget, that was the last couple of weeks. I said, why don't you go out to September and sell a put way lower and collect about $1,000? I think, was it September or October? Maybe it was October. Anyway, so what he ended up doing, he sold a put and collected $900, but it was lower because Tesla was under pressure. Oh yeah, it was when Tesla was falling down pretty hard, and he sold it for $9 or $10. The next day, Tesla popped, bought it back for like $6. So he made $3 to $4 out of thin air. So that's the way I would do it, or sell a put spread if I didn't want to own shares, if I didn't have the margin to do a naked put. I don't like chasing. So yeah, there's always a better way of doing things. And the fact that you came to me and asked me, the fact that this person came to me and asked me, his name is Frank. And the fact that Frank came to me and asked me, that's what do you put price on that? $47, $200, $300?
Or your whole account? Yeah, your whole account, couple thousand.
I mean, his profit from that trade was in the thousands. So it's an intangible. I can't tell you how, it's cheesy to say, oh, get in cheap now. And then it's a must, in my opinion. I wouldn't want to trade alone right now. If I didn't have a certain level of skill, I wouldn't, because there are sharks out there. There's. Did you know that it's a competition? People don't realize that this is a competition. Whenever you place a trade, You think you take it off the shelf or you put it back on the shelf when you sell it? No, there's somebody else on the other side that thinks you're an idiot because they're doing the exact opposite. You think they're an idiot if you don't think about it. It's a competition. Who's right, you or them? So if you make the decision alone, then you don't know what you're competing against. The machine is going to beat us every time. But if you ran your idea by 3 or 4 other people, then it's been vetted, so it's less likely to be a mistake. We rarely pick the wrong stocks. Our mistakes come from picking the wrong time. So we're always saying, I'm never wrong, I'm just early, type of a deal. Hopefully you can't hear in the background. My son decided to fire up the chop saw, whatever he's doing.
That's good.
We will get a letter soon from the association. What's he doing out there?
Nick, a recent trade I make from the chat room that you were spot on. We caught Tesla there in the chat room when they made that big jump, 600 to 700. You called it, Nick. So walk us through your process. How do you find these winning trades? And obviously we want to hear from the master here. Let's go.
Oh, the master. Oh, shoot. So I'm trying to recall what I did and when. So there was a clear breakout from this zone in Tesla, and I don't remember the circumstances or when we did it, but Tesla, for me, people keep trying to short it. I don't trade it unless I'm on the positive side, even when I hated it. So I'm not a Tesla expert. I don't claim to be a Tesla bandwagon rider from the get-go. In fact, I made so much fun of Cathie Wood when she was calling for $4,000, and I, foot and mouth for. So she was right about Tesla, and I was wrong. But I did change my mind because of one thing in Tesla. So that's what gave me the confidence with saying, yes, I can buy the dip. So the one thing that people miss about Tesla that still hate it, they still make fun of it, like the guy from GM, the ex-leader of GM, whatever his name is, Bob something. He has a peculiar voice. So here, this line, this cash flow from operations, almost $6 billion. So this is not the same Tesla of old. They are not about to be extinct. They've cleared the hump. So when they break out of a prior failing point, it becomes something you can chase. Or when they fall into a support level, it's something you can say, you know what, I'm comfortable enough to get long. So I would have gotten long here on this big red tick. I would have gotten long here on this red tick or this one. And I would have gotten long here on the breach of prior failures. This would have been an iffy call a little bit with a little bit of judgment call, but all along higher lows. So the easiest trade on Tesla is buy the dip into support like this one. So I did write up something about Tesla. I can't remember exactly what I said. So tomorrow, if they hold the low from today, that's encouraging. It could be ready to go this. So if I shorted Tesla, I would book my profits. If I didn't short Tesla, I would do 2 things. I would either buy the dip with a tight stop, meaning I get long Tesla, however long I get, buying stock, buying call spreads, selling put spreads, any which way I do it, and try to ride this out to here, book some here, or get out completely here and then chase it above, or leave some runners. Because if they take this out, they're going to go to 760 or 780 and repeat the process up there. So here's the cup and handle, I think. What did I say? 760 plus. We'll leave it at that. So this is a failure. This is a much smaller failure. And then when they take the cup out, the neckline out, they bum rush the bears. There's going to be a big fight over here. So I would say 745. I would start booking, but they should get to this guy right there. Then they fail. They repeat it. They fail. They repeat it. They do this up here and then burst through. So catch the falling knives in Tesla for as long as the markets are rallying, because this is not the Tesla of old. Whatever it dropped on news recently, like I forgot what it was. They fell short of deliveries or something. It was a time to get long. Every news, time to get long. A quarter of the float is not going anywhere. So I keep saying that it's like playing tennis with a ping pong racket when the other person isn't. So if you're shorting the company, get long on dips and stop out below here. If it loses this point through no fault of its own, I don't think it'll do it alone. I think you'll get the chance to buy it under 400 or 410, 420. What? You just told us it's going to 780. What did you say? See, I'm agnostic. I don't care where the stock goes. But if it loses this one, it's coming down to here.
So this is another thing why I really fell in love with the credit put spreads, because if from the way I'm looking at it, the stock has a big jump, so there is interest in the stock, right? So at that point, you just have to find like how to position yourself.
Yep.
So if it dips, well, lucky you, man, you got it on a discount and you got paid on the way.
Yep. So like I said, like Tesla is one of the ones where people say, man, I want to get long Tesla, but I'm so scared about it. And I was like, okay, so why don't you sell a put way out in time, way below current price, and then hope you get filled? If you don't get filled, you made money without even spending a dime. Like if I want to be Tesla long for a long time, and I wish I had bought it at 350. What's wrong with getting paid $1,300 today? Whoa, look at that. I picked this one. Somebody did 5,000 of them today. There's 25,000. How did we pick this number? Out of the blue. Boom, right there. So somebody did this 5,300 times today. So that's a ton of money.
And I want to hop in really quick.
Yeah.
I just want to give a shout out John Smith in the chat. This is not Rodrigo's fake account. I know it sounds like a fake name. It's not. But he said, as a new subscriber to the chat room after just 2 weeks, I find it worth every penny and more.
Oh, cool.
So boom.
Cool.
Check that one out.
So,
I'm going to drop the link in the chat again, guys, for like the get started. It isn't quite the chat room, but again, I'm putting it in there. The $48 a year.
This is
free refund.
Yeah, also, don't forget, guys, there is a surprise gift. Luke is working on it, and he's going to give us the update on that. So make sure you stay till the end, because Luke has a surprise, guys. All right.
Does it get plugged in? Is it pluggable?
It's pluggable.
What?
All right. Yeah, the surprise at the end may or may not be pluggable. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And I just put the link for the full service. That's the Benzinga Pro plus the chat room in there as well. So you have both links. The first one, $48. You're getting ideas, you're getting education videos, etc. If you want the full service, the full chat, the community, that one's in there too. Again, 2 weeks, money back guarantee. Okay, so it's risk free, unlike markets. If you want to check them out, stay in touch. The links are there. And I'm working on this.
The idea is to get paid to get long. So if I pull this trigger here, I collect $1,350 today, and all I have to do is buy this fellow's share at 350 for the next year, for this year, through middle of January of next year. So yes, it does tie up margin, but that's money I most likely don't have to work for. But besides, if I don't want to tie up margin, I can do it this way. And I'm surprised that they are these little increments. They're usually like $20 wide. That's surprising. I might do one of those. I have a small account I manage. I may do one of those in there. So for example, here I can collect 40 cents on a maximum risk of $4. Actually less, because I'm collecting 40 cents. Let me see what this pays. 30 cents on $2. So 30 cents on $1.70, really, because that's the maximum I can lose if it goes to zero. Very interesting, as they say on an old show that I've never watched. Okay, so that is the easy way. I say you can fight the fight and try to grab all the call profits. Now, caveats: if you do catch a swing up in calls, you'd be raining cash. But like we saw, those poor schleps that did it yesterday are down half their money. So that's not my personality. I like to plan around a set of scenarios and then give me like here, I can give you a mathematical value for my theoretical chance of success. And in this case, it's 90% plus. You know, if you remember the bell curve, like the standard deviations, everything happens within plus or minus 1 standard deviation. You know, very rare things happen. Rare things happen around the two standard deviation and 3 sigmas, I think they call them, out. That's where I want to be, 2 to 3 out at the outer edges of the 2. So something extravagant has to happen for me to get in trouble.
Right. So Nick, in this particular trade, so you make money, let's say if the stock kind of stays flat and doesn't
Okay, so
go below.
I can. There's only one thing that would make me lose money is Tesla collapses way past $340. That's the only thing that can make me lose money. So what is easier for you, to try to find where the stock is going and buy something to get there, or to try to find where it's not going and sell risk there? All the places it's not going, pick one that looks best for you and sell risk there, and let time be your friend. What do I need to win? I want nothing. I absolutely want time to tick and nothing happen. If it rallies, I make money. If it doesn't rally, I make money. If it falls a little bit, I make money. If it falls more than a little bit, I make money. The only way I lose money if it collapses through my supports.
Okay, so just for everybody here to grasp what Nick is doing, he is literally benefiting from theta or time, whatever you want to call it. Time is working for Nick.
So not only time and distance. So Tesla would have to fall to 50% this year for me to get in trouble. And getting in trouble is me having to buy the shares at a 50% discount if I sold the put. That's not trouble for me. Trouble is being long from here and dropping 50% and still be in the same trouble I am if I sold the put and I'm not in trouble. Is that loopy? Is that too loopy? But that's what it is. So I can buy the shares now and hope it rallies, or sell puts and collect money now, and nothing happening, I make money. I don't participate in the upside past what I collect. So that's the downside. But I said I like to plan and collect on set of circumstances, and that's the definition of a calculated risk. Now, I didn't say it was bulletproof, because just before I said that, what did I say? There is a scenario for it to lose 400. So if I do sell that and I collect $13, whatever the number was, and if that scenario unfolds, that $13 is going to show me I'm down 1,000%. No joke. But I don't care, because I will deal with it when it comes, and I will take the shares and flip them. That's how I've dealt with it all the time. And if I didn't, I can quote roll them. That's my least favorite thing, because really what you're doing is you're booking your loss, but you're reopening it immediately somewhere else to buy yourself more time and distance to get right. So you're just buying yourself more time and it happens. I've saved troubled trades like this. I remember when I first started Google, I sold a negative put and I was like, wait, I don't want to buy it. Let me punt it. And I did punt it way out and way down, and it just died.
It's just a broader net. What you really are. You're trading over a bigger. You have like more chances. You know, it's like playing blackjack and you only hit the color or a number.
It's an easier life. It's a happier life. I'm not stressed all the time. My only stress is sharing enough trades. And it's so stressful to do it when the stock market is at all-time highs. There are no bargains out there. Thank God for sell-offs in the IWM. Then I can talk about some shares that are falling, like Skills today. I thought might be worth a shot. Palantir on dips, DraftKings. So I'm stuck trying to scrape the bottom of the barrel without getting. They say don't pick your bottom.
All right,
I won't go there.
Rodrigo, you were asking for it. I said that we weren't going to do it tonight, but then you just joined the webinar in the middle. And so you why don't you break the news to everybody? But we do have the special item that you can plug in. Okay, I got 8 of them for you. Is that enough?
You're welcome.
Great. So today only, guys, we are doing 50% off Benzinga Pro. Okay, Benzinga Pro Options Mentorship Plan. This includes the one and only Nick Shaheen chat room, unusual options activity. You get everything in Benzinga Pro. And when I mean everything, I mean everything. I'm talking about SEC filings, block trades, spikes, the unusual options activity, 52-week highs, 52-week lows. You have a WIM news feed, which is why is it moving. Basically, our news desk is able to capture market news and determine if it's impacting the stock in a certain manner, up or down. And then that way you know exactly why the stock is moving. But that's just one of the many things you have. You have the Squawk Radio, which literally is Charlie every second of the day giving you the news that is moving stocks. As you know, there are many times where you get news and the stock doesn't do anything. So Charlie only talks about the stocks that are moving up and down. And that's just, one of the tools that you get in. But more importantly, the cherry on top of the cake here is Nick, right? You get the chat room with him. You get the daily picks with Nick. You also have the weekend webinars with Nick. And those are only for chat members of the Inner Circle chat room. Plus, you get all the tools so that you can do the research alongside with Nick. So if Nick gives you a pick, you can do your research as well on the stock so that you can confirm any bias that you might have. Maybe even come back to Nick and talk about it. But the experiences with the chat room, personally, I was doing these whole public chat rooms, and trust me, that's a mess. You don't want to do that. Don't blow up your account. You definitely want to trade alongside a community that knows what they're doing, and that the person that is actually showing you this has that track record, that verified track record like Nick has with us. So that 50% discount is only for today. You get Benzinga Pro, unusual options activity, you get the Inner Circle chat room with Nick Shaheen, and you will also get a laptop. So we have to make sure that we get everybody in here. So we have a laptop, but you have to sign up today. We might,
there you go.
accommodate
We
you
weren't supposed to do it. But
if
you
you
brought it
email
up.
me, if you email me or you call me by the end of the day today, technically the offer ends at midnight, but if you email me or leave me a voicemail, I will still try to help you as much as I can. But this is a tonight special only that we were able to make happen thanks to Luke.
Yeah, well, if I get in trouble, no thanks to me, okay?
You're
but
slick,
there
Luke.
it is.
You can survive it. I'm pretty sure.
I'm 9 years into this thing, so
Well, you're there
Benzinga, so there you go.
You're there. I can see you're in the office, right? So you get
I'm still in the
kudos points for
office.
that.
I've been here since 7. It's almost
That's
10 o'clock.
crazy. Yeah.
Long days, man. Because Rodrigo keeps giving out these laptops. Somebody's got to make money to keep the lights on.
I bring this up as a testament. Earlier, I said something about Benzinga team. That right there, he's in the office at. You're Michigan, right?
I'm in Michigan.
Yeah, so 9:42 is there. He's in the office. That's pretty dang. Are you in the office at 9:42? if you're a daytime person, probably not too many people are. But he's there for a reason, and the whole team springs to action. I've been working with them for a long time. I trust them blindly.
There we go. Boom.
Yeah, another feature here that I just want to point out. Luke, I believe, are you sharing your screen, Luke?
I am.
Nick
You can take it.
And question out of the chat, Rodrigo. You know this one better than I do.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Benzinga Pro Essential with that's half off plus Nick or what exactly?
No. Yeah, the Essential is a separate plan. We're only doing top of the line here with Nick. That's options mentorship, baby. That means that you get the Inner Circle chat room, you get unusual options activity, you get, it's different from the Essential, meaning that you have more. Sorry about my cat. You have more features. This is meant for option traders. That's really, obviously, if you don't trade options,
but you get what's in Essential as well, correct?
Yes, you do get the Essential plus more. So it is a better deal, 100% hands down. But the unusual options activity, what I do, Lou, is that I filter it by mega cap, right? So I have FANG there, and I'm looking if, option traders, are they buying calls? Are they buying puts? Way out of the money, in the money for the tech stocks, because they move the markets. So I kind of want to get a little heads up to see what option traders are, looking in the future. And I bring that information back to Nick, and Nick is able to pretty much bounce that with me, and I can kind of confirm or not confirm my thoughts on, the markets.
So I found the thing I was looking for here. Let me see here how they plan out. Okay, where we go. All right. So every morning in the chat room, I do this. Today's plan. Good morning. Today's plan. Boop. I put SPY, Qs, IWM, the futures of both TES and NQF, and whatever else people ask for. The plan for the day. Like in the IWM, I said, you don't want to lose this and you don't want to lose that. And then what happened? Now they're down here somewhere. So they, in the write-up, I probably said something about it. I probably said something smart. I'm pretty sure. No. Yesterday's chart targets hit perfectly. Yes, that was correct. The bounces will face resistance and cannot afford to lose 221. So they did go and revert lower. So today's plan is shared only in the chat rooms. And those are the same circles that I had in here. Nope. And here, there we go. It came down to here. So they cannot lose this now, because if they do, then the Reddit people are in trouble. That's my opinion. But this is gold, in my opinion. I share this every day. FOMC, look out for the SPY, and what to do, little notes here and there. Traders can chase. Investors will probably have lower entry opportunities. So I do this, and middle of the day, I do another write-up with a trade setup, and that's only for the chat room people.
Yeah,
it's worth every penny, in my opinion. I'm not. In fact, I don't know how much it costs, but whatever it is, I would pay for it for myself. These charts are all from today. So that was today's post that I just showed you. And if I scroll down through, all of these conversations are today. So my fingers are going to get tired. So I'll just go down to the bottom.
And you get those alerts on the right, Nick. So let's say you set up your news feed and you get an alert whenever something
pop up down here.
Really?
They pop up in the bubble down here. Like these market on close and balance. Oh, by the way, you guys today saved it. This one right here, the market on close and balance popped up, said 14 billion. It was like, what? I've never seen 14 billion. I've seen 5 billion before a few weeks ago. That was the maximum. And then 14 billion. So I hit copy, that little guy there, and I posted in the chat room. I said 14 billion. And then when I looked back, it said 1.4. So somebody had immediately fixed it. So yeah, right. They're on top of it.
And that is literally one droplet of what you can do in pro. The other thing I do like, I don't know if you do this, Nick, but like I love to see institutional ownership, if they're buying, if they're selling.
Where do I find options. That? I haven't gone there.
So let's just say you open a new workspace.
Yeah.
And we already have pre-made templates because we know you guys, we're traders. This is for traders.
Unusual options activities, institutional ownership.
Institutional ownership. There you go. Now, all of the forms that institutions have to report on the SEC. This is official stuff, guys. This is not rumors. These are not, chat room rumors. These are SEC filings where you can find that. And what I do like is that let's say when I started, Nick, I think I told you this in prior when we've spoken, where when I started trying to find institutional ownership, I had to go to 3 different websites, one's for buying, one for selling, and one of them was updated every 20 days. The other one was updated every 30 days. And then I had to go to the SEC, go to the official government websites, which, as you know, are like the worst. They're super slow, just like their DMV. So with this that you're getting, you get it straight from the SEC. Straight from the SEC, no, sprinkles on top, no little, bias. Official document.
I've not ventured in just because of my time, but I'm looking at Form 4. So that's usually when people are insider selling transactions. So a whole bunch of rumbles.
Now, just wait till you filter that by your watch list, and you're on fire, man.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I need to hone my watch list down. So here's a top tip, folks. Look at when I started trading only options, I ditched half of the stuff in my watch list that is not very liquid in options. Like some stocks, options are tough to trade. Like TQQQ and SQQQ, I don't touch them anymore because you can't do spreads, you can't get good quotes, you can't get good fills. And I don't need this headache. I just ditch it out of my watch list. So I only focus on stocks I really trade and specialize in. There, boom, something came in. Whatever.
Yeah, this is real time. This is real time. You don't have to wait 30 days to find out.
Or you can actually here. That's pretty interesting. So let's go SPCE. Can we filter by ticker? Boom. So now we can see all of their official statements. That's cool. Okay, so multiple ways to use this platform. It is so good. It's too good for me right now. I need to take a week off and just get in. I do use it religiously to find tickers to trade. So what did I say? I like to buy dips on worthy stocks. So I go in here and I filter by, tell me who's getting hammered the worst today by percent. And then I filter by, I don't want to look at anything below $1 billion in market cap because I don't want the non-optionable things. And then I scroll through it and to see is anything popped up. And then the other day I was AMC is here, but that's definitely one I do not want to catch. So if I come down here and I see a name I recognize, wait, why is Poshmark down? Let me go look at Posh. I know it's a good stock, and it's a reopen. It's a COVID stock, and why isn't it doing well? So yeah, I don't see anything right now that jumps. Didi, there's your buddy Didi, not yours.
Shout out Didi, my favorite Chinese stock. There you go.
Yeah, I don't see anything here, but that's how I do it. So if somebody wants to chase momentum, they would flip that and just look at the. Oh yeah, that. How many times did I hear about this today? Hey, what do you think of Newegg or NEGE? I was like, hopefully you're asking me that not because you want to buy it now. It's up 100%. So Coin had a good day. That often comes up in the conversation. I would not mind catching that falling knife. It all depends on the environment we're in. The only reason I didn't jump on this one is because of Bitcoin. So I'm a fan of crypto. I'm not like a fanatic about it. I'm very realistic at what they offer. I think that. So I did a couple of videos before when it was 9 to 11. I said it's going to 12, 16, 18 and set a new high. I didn't know it was going to go this high. But now the opposite scenario is that if it loses 30 again, the first time it lost 30, I said it's going down to like 12, but it has 28.8 has a bounce defense, and it bounced exactly at 28.8.00. So if it loses 30, I don't think they can stop at 28.8, and we will have the opportunity to buy crypto much, much lower. And if that happens, Coin is going to get shellacked. And I'm waiting to hop on Mara and Coin because of that. We traded Mara already very well in the options world on Benzinga team. So I will do it again, but I'm waiting to see the fight in crypto. It's pinpoint, and it's going to break one way or another. I don't know which way, and I'm waiting to chase it, up or down. The fastest money I made this year, buying Doge on the dip the other day. I didn't book it because I don't know the tax implications yet. But because I heard rumors they're going to do some finagling in taxes, like, I better wait.
I don't know. I think it rolls to next year. I don't think it happens for this year, but we'll see.
Whatever. I've seen nothing surprises me with these political shenanigans. I mean, politicians always raise the bar at crappiness. Yeah. Do you think they as crappy as they get, and then whoop, one notch higher?
Yep.
It's crazy. So let's go. Anything else? Tickers, or what are we talking? We're talking.
All right. Let's do one more ticker out of the chat.
Go ahead.
I'm scrolling. I don't know. All right, let's let the chat catch up. So. All right. Here it is. NIO. Boom. There we go.
Okay. So
fast fingers wins. There's a lot of other tickers flying, but
I'll tell you the
fingers Neo
conversation.
wins.
I'll tell you the conversation today in the chat room about Neo. Somebody jumps into the chat room. I know him because he jumps in and out all the time. You can't stay there. He's got a full-time job, but he jumps in like 3, 4, 5 times a day. And he sets the trade and comes back and tells. He jumps in. What's going on with Neo? What's the news? I was like, okay. And I answered it. What's going on with Neo 3 days ago or 5 days ago? What was the news? Why did it spike 10% in one day? Nothing. Okay, nothing. So it doesn't need news. It spiked the other day. It failed where it's supposed to fail. Look left. That's the place where it should have failed. And now it's simply reverting to test the neckline from which it broke out. So this is the prior breakout neckline. And then it's testing it for support. They have room. They don't have to bounce right here. They can bounce right here. They can bounce. The best bounce is 43.80. But if that fails, not the end. They can come down to 40, 39, and still be in the same breakout, in my opinion. Ideally, you want to keep 41, and then come back and see if they can take that out. So now I will put an alert here. That is a trade I can chase, not an investment. Chase it with a question mark. Depends on my time frame, if I have time or not. So this would be a tradable chase. But if I'm looking to own it for a long term and I can't book profits, I shouldn't do it because it's probably going to revert lower afterwards. So it depends on the style of trading. So this drop in Neo doesn't change anything. It's probably made bigger than it should have been, faster than it should have been because of the headlines from China regarding Didi and other stocks, because the government there seems, I don't know, I'm not an expert, to be after, I don't know, free market. I mean, they have so many successful companies and they're beating them down one at a time. I just don't understand.
Boom. There it is. All right, Nick. I gotta go home. Okay.
All right, you go.
I'm getting tired. So I'm gonna do the links one more time, guys. We appreciate everybody hanging out with us. I'm gonna put the first one in there. That's the crazy one. It's $48 a year. Okay, so if you want to stay in touch with Nick past tonight, we're probably not gonna do another YouTube thing for a minute. So 48 per year. You're getting a couple write ups a month. You're getting the education, the videos. Again, the whole idea is we want everybody to be able to learn. It's for the less active person. And then we have the Crazy Rodrigo special link. That's the one that I'm going to drop in now. And that's Benzinga Pro plus Nick's chat room. Plus, we somehow smuggled in 8 laptops, which we weren't supposed to do, but the 8 people who purchase it get a laptop. We're down to 2 left. Okay, so the first link, all right, that's the 48. You don't get the chat room. The second one, you get the chat room plus Benzinga Pro plus the laptop. Both of them are half off. All right, so that's my my final call to action. Again, guys, there's no risk to getting started. If you hang out for just the 2 weeks, you can leave. You can get the full refund. Unlike markets, it is risk free. That's my favorite
Maybe
line.
I'll let them stay.
So
There are no jerks allowed, by the way.
that is actually true too. Nick has banned people before.
We've not.
So.
No, I haven't. No, no. Luckily, I mean, the chat room is so nice. When somebody asks a question and I take a minute or two to answer, they jump in. Sometimes a little too much. It's like, give me the chance, let me answer. Now they're getting 3 answers, but they do jump in to help each other out.
Yeah, and somebody's asking for me to explain the pricing again. So the first link, I'm going to put the links in again. It's 2 trades a week, and that's only $48 a year. So if you're just dabbling, you're not super active, you're not trying to day trade every day. There it is. The laptop specs, it has 16 gigs RAM, but that's the first link. Okay, 48 per year, not per month, per year. All right, that link is in the chat. The second link, that's the full Benzinga Pro, plus Nick's chat room where he's in there every day. Plus, Rodrigo somehow smuggled in 2 laptops, which I specifically said we weren't going to do, or he got an 8. We have 2 left. So that's also half off. So both of them half off for anybody who's joining tonight. That one's $1,600 per year. So there you go. That link, I'm going to put that one in the chat room.
Again, think
YouTube
about
as
it.
well.
I know 1,600 is a lot of money. That's like half a stimulus. No, I'm just kidding. It's an education process. If you think about it, you pay for education way more than this, and this is ongoing for. Is this for a year?
Yes, it's for a year, not a month.
So-
Everybody thinks it's for a month because it's like $48.
It's ongoing. It's
1,600,
ongoing for a year. I mean, that's freaking dirt cheap. That's my opinion, personal opinion. I want you in there because I believe in what we're doing. We have good intentions, and if you come up with ideas that we're not doing, guess what? We can make them happen if they're viable. So the chat room is always being improved by the people that join it, and I've been promised new features, bells and whistles soon. So hopefully that comes in too.
Boom! Shout out Dooley joined, KH joined, Christopher joined.
Julie, that's
got
the one
some
that
chatters.
got the Nvidia answer right. Hopefully.
I believe so.
Good. I did want to add a final touch here from my personal experience trading. I know that when you're starting, it can feel like, what is going on? What is this? You're trying to figure it out the free way, like I did. With when you're buying something free, it comes at a big price. We find that out at the end. But all of the mistakes that I've been making throughout my options trading journey can all sum up to one thing, and it's really trading with the right community, not trading in a vacuum. As traders, we're in a room looking at charts all day. We're really not in touch with like the outside world, just looking at screens. So having that community, having that expertise available there has really made the difference to me in trading. And I'm very positive as you guys start and get to know Nick, you will too as well.
So yeah, I learned quickly that the life gives you the test first, and then comes the lesson. So my first year of trading options, I did pretty well, but it was out of luck. The second year, I was doing very well, equally as well. I stuck to my guns, and then I started experimenting, and then one day, that year was turned to crap. So yeah, learning the tuition is going to get paid, whether with losses or fees up front, fixed costs. You choose. And if you don't like it, if you don't see value, just pull the plug. All right, you go home.
All right. Yeah, it's time for me to go home. Rodrigo,
He's
what
like a
kind of
zombie.
computer? I know. All right. My first call was at 7 a.m. Eastern this morning, and it officially ticked 10 p.m. Eastern. So I was on
Hey,
the
I
road
don't
by
feel
6
sorry
a.m.
for you.
today.
I'm sitting in this
Okay.
chair since 4:10 in the morning.
I
It's
know.
7 o'clock.
Yes.
Well, I did walk
Yes.
the dog about 4 times, but that's okay.
There you go. Somebody's saying what kind of computer? We promised that the laptop has 16 gigs of RAM. I
It's
don't
an
know beyond
alien
that. All right.
Alienware.
Yes.
Somebody,
No,
people keep saying Rodrigo, post your email. It's literally on the screen, guys.
Okay.
It's right there. He has his phone number too. That's literally his cell phone. Okay, you want to call him at
you're a
4 a.m.
brave
You can do
fella.
that.
Your cell phone's
Hey,
out there.
I know he is brave.
Make sure to know, guys, this is a laptop. I mean, I'm using this same laptop that you're gonna get, and I run all my pro stuff in there. Fast, smooth, because usually you have 10 screens, one computer, it gets slow. But if you have one computer just with that one screen for pro,
I
you're
had the best results running on Edge, Microsoft Edge. If you like Chrome, Edge is Chrome, only better. So try it out. Top tip.
Boom. All right. There we go. So, all right, guys, I'm going to put those links in one more time. Again, the first one, it's 48 per year, okay? And it's 2 trades with the videos and the full write-ups, etc. Sorry, I'm getting a call. But the full write-up and the education per month. So that's the first link, and then I'm going to drop in the second link, which is for people who are more active. And that's the Benzinga Pro. We're down to 1 laptop, Rodrigo. Okay, we gave away all your laptops. So there it is. One more lucky person gets the laptop. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so there we go. Both of them 50% off.
Yep. So this deal, guys, we're
got it.
running it for today only. It's a Luke special deal. So if you do want to save the deal, however, you can email me, call me, leave me a voicemail. Tomorrow, I will get back to all you guys, and I'll make sure that we can go over what fits your trading style, where you're trying to go, and more than happy to help you guys with this. We take your trading seriously. As you can see, this is a tool made for you. This is not for us. It's for you. So any feedback you have, always let us know, because we do love to continue improving the product every time.
Perfect. Boom. There it is.
I'm glad the camera doesn't shoot down here. Oh my God, what a mess my desk is. I'm looking around. Oh.
All right, guys. Peace out. Happy trading. We will see you guys all soon. And hit subscribe on the YouTube channel too. All right, we do.
Racer Nick on social media. Noke, RACRNIC.
All right, I'll get that link in there.
And don't
Racer
forget
Nick.
your swag, guys. BZ Pro swag, always in style.
Where's my swag, dude?
Nick, you have to be
I'm
here
just
for 15 years to get swag.
Oh, okay. Okay, never mind.
Who do you email for support? Rodrigo. His email address is on there. Okay.
Yeah, email me. I'll take care of you. No worries. I'm your guy. I'm your inside guy.
Yeah, he's your inside guy.
Whoever you email, they're gonna respond to you and they'll get it done. That's how the team is. All right. Peace out.
All right. Peace, guys.
All right.
Later.